let's look at it. Okay, so it's probably about 0.5. Sorry, 0.5. And then so we saw that 6 actually aligned it on the left side, right? So it's probably 0.55. Right? That's about middle there, right? And then the minus is going to be whatever that half was. I'm going to call it as 0.9. No, sorry, minus 0.9. Nope, that's too far. Let's try minus 0.6. I think it's a little too far too. This thing's a little bit taller than the door we made, right? There we go. So it's about on the ground. Now, here's the tricky trick. I put it on there to use the door as my sort of like number reference, right?
Yeah.
What's its relationship to the door? I'm actually going to get rid of that door, so I'm going to unparent it, delete this door, and now my door's in the right spot.
Right.
Right? Okay, that's my thing. But now let's look at the world coordinates. This actually is 0, right? And 0.55. But this works when you have an object that, say, the pivot is in like a strange place. Is you could put a reference object, go to create empty, right? And I want this game object. It didn't create it at 0, 0. It made it sort of that.
So game object is just like an invisible controller.
It's an empty game object is just invisible in the world, right? And I can add a component to this thing or do other things, but I can also just use it as this point. So let's say I wanted to attach this thing to where this game object is. I can say, okay, I want this door to be 0.55 and 0 from this game object. Put it on there. Game object is at that distance. 0.55 and 0 should put me exactly where this game object is. Just about. Okay, so I can visually place this game object before I put the door on it, and then snap it too, right?
Okay.
There are other more automatic ways to do it, but this is a great way for you to be able to not get caught fiddling with visually lining things up, as you can do it by the numbers, right? Okay. Anyway, that's sort of one of my methodologies. Okay, you guys want to see? I made something kind of at work. I'll do this interestingly. Let's spice it up a little bit.
Duplicate those doors, right? Like it would just be.
Say what?
That we would duplicate that door then, similar to how we did it with the shapes.
Yeah, and in fact, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to show you. There's a couple of different problems here. Is like if I actually had to duplicate the doors to make 10,000 sets of these, I would have to make 30,000 doors. Right? So basically what we need to do is figure out a way that we want our doors to create instances of this door, right, at will. So when I play it right now, we got nothing. We got a door, we got a red background, and we have whatever this land piece, right?
It looks creepy though.
It does kind of look creepy.
It's The Shining, yeah.
It is kind of The Shining. So we can do, let's try duplicate it. I'm just going to duplicate it twice just so that we can have, let's call this. So you see the prefab down here? I'm going to do this the right way just because later on I don't want to have to. Okay, I duplicated the door prefab down here, right? And now I'm going to select this prefab, go to this door. I'm going to have to bring it into the world. Hold on. Okay, so door 2 is now in here. Right, door 1 and door 2. Right, and then I'm going to take door 3. I'm going to drag this into the world as well. Door 3, I'm going to move it over here. Right? And I'm not going to fiddle fart with the numbers right now. That's sort of not important. Okay, so we have 3 doors. Now I'm going to go to door 2. We're going to look at the base color for it. And just in a cheap way. You notice that I went to door 2 and changed the color and all 3 doors changed?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's because even though this is the color that's attached to door 2, more importantly, it's attached to this material. So all I did was change the color of this material, and it changed all three doors.
The element something?
Yes, you see element 0,
Yeah.
door 1, and then when I click this, you see how it turns yellow in my
Yeah.
asset browser, right? So I originally started with like, oh, I'll make this one door red, and it made them all three red, right? It doesn't work that way. So even though door 2 and door 3 are separate, they're using the same material, right? So let's go find that material. Here it is, door 3. If I select it down here, notice the inspector changes to the material, right? So now I can see what makes the material. I'm like, oh, okay. I can sort of play around with this, make it blue, purple. Like, oh, that's all pretty neat stuff. But it is changing all three doors. So how do we fix that? We actually take this door material. I'm going to okay. There's no right click menu for this, so I'm going to hit Command D, and it's going to duplicate it and auto increment the number. Right? Door 1, door 2, door 3, which is nice because now this is going to match our new door system. And hold on, you'll notice that the doors haven't changed yet, right? It's because I didn't actually change the material on the door. All I've done is created 3 new materials, right? So let's go to door 2. You'll see that it says door 1 here. Click this little circle thing, and now I'm going to change it to door 2. Right?
Yes.
Go to
it's like
door
a reference
3. Right.
to the material. Yeah, I get you.
Right. And then change this one to door 3, and now we have RGB doors.
Cool.
Right, and let's look at that in game. There we go. And in fact, I think because I have some color contrast there, I'm going to change the main camera to be slightly, where is it? Slightly darker. Let's go. So it's, actually, right now with these doors, I'm actually going to make it brighter so that they contrast against the background. Okay, can you dig it?
Hopping on, and yeah, it's creepy as hell.
Actually, I'm going to go a little darker.
That's straight out of Doctor Who, like the old school Doctor Who.
Yeah. Okay, now let's take this directional light. I kind of feel like the background's a little overpowering the doors because they're not very bright. I'm going to turn up the intensity on the light to 1.5, and now they should be lit a little bit better as far as how they're looking.
Now, can you put some sort of script? I know this might be a question for later, but like how you just made the light brighter. If you wanted to make it look like it's a flickery light, would you be able to put like a wiggle type?
Say something like this, where the doors are flashing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's almost like there's like a light and just kind of almost anthem brightness and darkening,
we absolutely can, and in fact, I'm going to get into the first we're going to touch on script just a little bit. We would definitely do that with a script.
Sure, yeah, we can do that next week too. I'll write that down.
Yeah,
we already got a lot of points over the head.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll get through them all. But I'll show you real quickly. Remember, we went to the asset store and I said that I use these visual scripting systems.
Yes.
Right. Okay. I'm going to bring one in right now, so that you can get a feel for the look of this. So there's an update. So I'm going to update my UScript. I haven't used Playmaker much yet. My brain is just kind of wired for UScript right now, so we'll go with that. But I think what we can do in a future episode is like, hey, let's look at Playmaker, and then we'll go make a bunch of stuff, right? Okay, so you see, it's actually a significant import. There's a lot of stuff coming in, right? I'm going to import this.
Yeah, I called that a Twin Peaks vibe.
What, the doors?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the little midget guy's going to come out and talk to us.
Right.
It's scary as hell.
Or, 2 girls on big wheels.
Yeah.
Come rolling out. All right, so this will take a minute. Yeah, exactly. Okay. All right, where are we at time-wise?
We've got 10 minutes, I think. We'll just stop. I'll mark it for 10 minutes.
Okay.
Well, we said noon we would stop, right? You have 20 minutes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we got time. Okay, so I'll do a couple of things real quick. We're not going to get to actually super heavy gameplay. Okay, I need to actually open this scene again, I think. So let me save my project. It'll save the scene. This happens sometimes. You'll notice I got an error when I tried to import this thing. Right? You see this? It's like a system error. I think I fixed this on a different machine by quitting and relaunching. So yeah, save it. Save all of that. Let's relaunch movie. Because basically it needs to recompile all of those scripts again. Twitch example project. Opening up. Twin Peaks vibe. Look at my doors. Okay. So I'm going to kill this asset store window. Get back into this. So now, see in my project hierarchy over here, I've got UScript and UScript project files. That's the plugin I just installed.
Okay.
Okay. Now to use this, you go to Tools, UScript, right? UScript Editor, right? And it'll pop up a window. Enable that. It's great, fantastic, fun times. Okay, don't show this at startup. I'll turn it off just like every time I update. Actually, you know what? Before we get into this, this is a great thing. If you do get UScript, these all link to important ways to learn about how to use UScript. In fact, when I first got this, I went with Key Concepts, and then I looked through the documentation, and then I went through the video tutorials. I was able to reference all of this stuff and go back and forth to kind of figure it out. I'm going to try and fast track you a little bit, but let's do a whole thing about UScript like in the next episode or the episode after. Okay? Yeah. I'm just going to show you how I use it right now from a top-line view of like, let's do something like, in fact, let's do this. So, File, save this current UScript. Twitch, doors, test.
You want to put it in the same folder as the one you were working on, or is it okay to invert it?
It'll open up default to the asset folder. This stuff I just automatically go through. Assign graph to master game object. In this case, I'm going to say yes. I will teach you why you say no next time.
Okay.
Or at least maybe actually later today. Okay. So I now have a script, and see it says the Unity editor is compiling one or more scripts. Right? It's empty, but it's going to compile it right now. And then in my scene, let's go back to the scene, you'll see that there's now a UScript object in the screen. In the scene, right? And it has this C# script attached to it, right?
Yeah.
Ignore this for right now because we're not doing anything with it. So now you see that this is one of the reasons I like UScript is this actually created a C# script that I can find in here, and I can now open up this C# script, see it over here, and read through it. So if you want to learn C#, you can do this node-based stuff and then go open up the C# script to understand how it put it together.
Cool.
Right? But that's kind of pro mode at some point. We'll go sort of farther.
Sure.
But it's nice because it's pretty straightforward in what it's doing. It's just taking...
Like we're going to do an entire episode on scripting and the different script programs.
Absolutely. In fact, there's probably a couple in there. Okay. Yeah. Now, the basic... I'm going to go over to Keynote real quick just so you can understand. I'm going to sort of give you a thing. Let's go to shape. Okay. So the basic flow, though, that you do have to understand this before you get into what we're doing, is the way this works is generally some event, right, kicks off in the world. and this event will then move down the line. Okay, this arrow is important, right? So that's your basic scripting block. Is something happens in the game or in the world or something like that, and it sends a message, right? And it will actually do this. Let me see if I can. Does it say that on there? No. Okay, basically this arrow is not nothing. It's not just a connector. It's basically letting you know that this event is talking to this action, right? Now, one thing that's interesting, and I'll do it here once just so that you can sort of conceptually have it before I go into start like working with nodes, is you can do multiple actions from the same event in parallel like this, and I'll show you how to do that. Right
Maybe
about
like an audio thing and an explosion, or
yeah, totally. You can have it kick off an audio and then an effects and something like that, right? But just I wanted you to sort of have that, because so at some point before, like the other interface is kind of confusing. There's a lot of shit there, right? But what we're basically looking for is an event that we want to identify that's going to do what we, that's going to trigger this thing, right? So we'll go back here. I'm going to do this real quick. You right click on it, add events, right? I'm going to go to game events. See, hold on a second. Actually, I think what I want is not game events. I want input events, right? And then I'm going to do this. And so we get this really sort of, let me put this on grid. Like really tiny looking node, right?
Yeah.
And it says that in any input event coming from UScript, now send something out of this dot, right? Now I'm going to do add condition comparison. Actually, hold on. Action. There's a lot of these things. I'll eventually show you all of this crap. Event filter. Input events filter, right? This event goes to the in. This thing is selected, so this part of the screen now has sort of properties for that, right? And I can choose what button I want to listen for. All right, so here we go. Let's go with the space bar. I'm going to go fast through this just so that we can do this. So
there we go. 12 minutes.
Yep. Action. Do an action to a variable color. Set random color. Here's our next one. So I'm going to read this left to right to you, right? And that's what's nice about this kind of scripting. When an input happens, we're going to check to see if it's the space bar, right? That's down here, right? And then we're going to set a random color, right? And so you see this arrow down here at the bottom? Yeah. This is an output. It's going to, when it sets the random color, it sends it out this arrow, right? Yeah. Well, it's not connected to anything, so we need to put something there. So I'm going to right click, add variable color, and you'll see that it made a little, color scrotum down here, right? And don't bother setting this stuff over here into properties, because it's going to come out this arrow and change this variable, right?
Right.
So it's going to set that color, and then at some point we need to do something with this. Hold on to that for 1 second. See over here, there's this drop down for space. I'm going to do this for my own. There's a search field over here. This becomes useful. I will show you how to do this later. Variables, Unity Engine key code. This goes here. Okay, so now I can actually do this. If I wanted to change that thing, I can do it. Okay, so now we're going to, an event happens. Is it and I did this just so that we can read it this way. I'm going to filter the space event, right? When the space bar is down, right? When it's pressed down, we're going to set the random color of, and let's see, how did I do this yesterday? Set random color, game object. There should be something in here for assign material color. Okay, so we've set a random color for this variable. We're going to assign a random color to a target, which is, and I will do this way, but you can drag these things, sorry, this is not going to make any visual sense to you guys, but I'll do it this way. To add that thing in, game object to door 1, right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cross the streams here, assign this color to the material that's on door 1. Okay? I can see by your eyeballs that you're getting this, but it's a lot of information.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
But I mean, is this going to be able to, will this do something? Would it be able to see what it actually does?
That is correct. We will see what it does here in a...
So I think that we should start on this the next...
Right, which is why I'm trying to wrap up on this, so that we basically get to the point where there's some interactivity, right? Let's check my console. I've got... Let's see. Why do I have... Let me clear this. I've got some build errors, so let me see. That might actually be fixed. Let's try and run it. Okay, Unity editor's running. Everything looks okay. Okay, the door is changing to a random color.
Cool.
Every time I hit the space bar.
Action here.
Yeah. We got action.
The disco door going.
Yeah.
Disco double door. And then can you copy those properties onto all the doors then?
Let's do that next week.
Okay, got it.
Technically, yes. I could also do it from. Let's do one thing, and I will do. I would do this the cheap and easy way. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste it twice, right? And I am going to assign multiple game objects to the same target. Right? They all say door 1 right now, but let's go in and change that to door 2, door 3. Now, the thing that's going to happen here is they will all get the same color.
Okay, got it, yeah.
Right? So I'm assigning material color, they'll all get the same color. I could do set random color 3 different times, like split this way, right? And split the stream. So it does all 3 doors separately. In fact, here, I'll just do it. I'm not worried about you comprehending all of this right now.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think
so
to show how fast it can be done.
Yeah. Okay. So this, it's going to be sloppy as fuck too. Okay, so I've created a, sort of like a split stream here, right?
Yeah.
Where basically, hold on. It's going to do this at the same time. It should do door 1, door 2 will change colors, door 3 will be its own color, and then we will do it this way. Let's see. Make sure.
Yep.
Okay, 2 of them should match. Actually, they're all getting the same color.
Yeah.
Because I'm not actually setting this one here. So I made one of my first mistakes. Okay. Door 2, door 1, change that color. Target color. Let's actually do this. 9, 0.1. and it'll always stay in the red field. Build it. So door 3, I think, is the one on the right. Okay, this door on the right should be either a different color, more red. I'm trying to go fast, so I might be dropping steps, so let's see if this is successful.
It's cool.
Right, so door 3 will always be a different color, sort of in the red frame.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, that wraps it up. Does anybody else have any questions while I'm on it?
So next week we will start with the rest of the script and the colors, and then we'll put some movement on and animation on the doors. Is that cool?
Yeah, we'll start to talk about animation and different things. So, but yeah, at least we now have we have 3 doors that changed into creepy colors.
And if you, I'll set up a YouTube channel. If you just provide those links you were talking about earlier, there were some asset links. There were some Uscript and things like that. Maybe we can link to those.
Yeah, let me toss you an email with what I think the links are.
Sounds good.
Okay. All right, dude.
All right, thank you.
All right, see you next Saturday, man.
Take it easy.
All right, I'll step. Anybody else have any questions? Is anybody even watching anymore? Okay. All right. Well, then I'll pick up directly on scripting next week. I think it took me a little bit to get past the initial I'm casting jitters as well. So yeah, I'll get to it. Doors. Save. And then if you want, I mean, I can take requests too. Right, so I can, potentially do another scripting piece later. Right, got it. Yeah, I figured it would be a retread. I think that was actually a retread for Brian as well, and probably for Josh, but I was also keeping in mind that I was going to archive it. So I wanted to make sure that we didn't just jump straight through stuff. Anyway, give me some feedback on Tuesday. But let's get directly into streaming next week. Sorry, not streaming, scripting. I'm looking at my screen. All right, see you guys.